Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery, and wow, what a day it's been. I don't know what your day is like, but my day has been crazy. So yeah, let me know. How are you doing out there? How's everything? What day is today? It's a Thursday. Um, yeah, I hope you're doing well. um, so we've been doing a lot here at Allegory Gallery. If you missed the news, I posted on my personal page. I don't think we posted anything on the AG page on Facebook or anything, but Andrew and I took a little day off, part of the day off. We did some packing and shipping in the morning, and then we took a little bit of the afternoon off and took a walk in nature. And normally I feel too guilty doing that, especially when I feel like everything is piling up around me, which is what I feel like after our helpers left us. But sometimes I think Andrew knew I needed it. Sometimes you need just kind of a refresher or a break. And that was good. It gave us a little time out in nature, a little time to just kind of chat and walk around and get some fresh air, and something that we really have not done in many, many, many months. So we did that yesterday. We also went over to Star Cottage Studio yesterday. If you're not watching or if you're not following Star Cottage Studio, you can do that on Facebook right there. You can also do it on Instagram. It's the same thing as here, Star Cottage Studio on Instagram as well. And I think we're on Twitter too, I believe. So hello, Marianne. Hello, Teresa. Thank you for joining in. Just kind of recapping, it's been a crazy week. We had the weekend where we had the big festival last weekend, and we went right into the week. We didn't take a day off. We didn't close. We didn't do anything. So I needed that kind of downtime, and I think Andrew was starting to feel it. I was starting to get a little bit wild in my head. And I always, like I said, I hate doing that because I know I'm behind on things and I don't want to be behind for you all. But I think if I hadn't taken that break, I would have just driven myself crazy, and that's no good for anyone. So while I was out yesterday, our teacher Jen was running the store for us, and she had some people in for classes, and she also cleaned and reorganized so much. So much of our packing and shipping area was really left an incredible mess, both after our helpers quit and after the big festival. It kind of became a dumping ground, and things were really unorganized. Let's just say things got unorganized. So she was so nice and reorganized for us, and cleaned it up a little bit, I should say a lot. And I was able to jump in today and do some packing and shipping. I think I got nearly 20 orders out, and that may not seem like a lot with what I'm up against sometimes, but if I can continue that progress, we should be caught up fairly soon. But yeah, we went out yesterday and just kind of got away from things because it was all, just as messy as that back room was. That's how my brain felt. And so we're also working on taxes, of course. As a small business, things don't always happen the way you'd like them to happen. So, of course, most years we delay paying taxes. And of course, this year we're running right up to the moment. So I've been working on that in the evenings as well, in addition to my other job, which I've had some other things come up there. So that's been interesting. We're preparing for the Great Beat Extravaganza and our wedding, which are coming up 2 weekends right after one another in November. So there's a lot going on mentally and physically. And it's been interesting. I love fall, and thank goodness fall is like my power season. Like I have the most energy, I feel like, in fall, but I have been worn out. So that's what happened. If you'd like to see some pretty pictures, hopefully pretty pictures, I think they are, of leaves and the fall weather around here in Western Pennsylvania, you can jump on my personal timeline, and I've shared some of those pictures on Facebook. I'm going to put some of them on Instagram here later when I get a few moments. So that is, let's see here. Teresa says, many of our active friends running beading companies are taking a break. That's nice. I wish I could take a break. But if we take a break, we lose momentum. And right now, heading into the fall, heading into the winter, we can't afford to lose the momentum. So that's crazy. Let's see here. Marianne got the notice that her packages are on the way. Yeah, I think I got like 5 of your orders done. You should see your refunds and shipping coming through. I got, I think, 5 of your orders done. Some of your invoiced things, I think you have some invoice things, they're not going to be in with that simply because I'm trying to clear out orders and make mental space. And the invoice things right now I'm not getting to. So I apologize for that. But your store orders, your online store orders are all coming to you. I think I got all of them going. And yes, as Nancy said, our friend Harry, probably not going to be joining us today. Harry took a fall. If you've not seen on his timeline, he took a fall and is right now in a few casts. So we send good energy out to Harry for a quick and speedy recovery. We will definitely miss him here in these lives if he's not able to join us during his hospital stay and his therapy. I don't know if he'll be getting therapy after. I hope so. So yes, let's all send either prayers, good energy, whatever you do over to Harry, because we will certainly be missing him here. Looking forward to my package too. Oh, says Merle. Yeah, Merle, sorry about the craziness. I'm still dealing with AT&T. I'm trying to get phone lines switched over. If you've been following that whole saga, we switched over to a business plan. I'm trying to switch back over to a regular residential or whatever they call it plan, simply because we can't get all the lines on the business plan. It's become a mess. And right now our phones are a little bit in limbo. So if you've been sending a message or calling, or texting and we've not replied to you or called you back, or you've not gotten anyone on the phone, please do email us or send us a message on Facebook, because things are a little bit crazy right now and I don't know when it's all going to be done. So I've been fighting a lot with them. They offered absolutely no help to us throughout this whole thing. So once we get everything situated on a way that we have our phone lines at least up and running, I'm probably going to be looking into another vendor and another company. But that's down the line. Right now, I'm doing as much as I can to get everyone up and running on the plan. Let's see, what is everyone else doing? So yeah, that's my kind of, I feel bad because I get on here and lately in the last few days and I'd be like, oh, this isn't done and this isn't done and this isn't done and I'm sorry about this. And I probably feel or look or sound run down, and I am a little bit, but we're catching up. We have some people who are hopefully going to join us and start helping. And I just got word today that there's somebody very interested in helping us, especially with packing and shipping. So I'm excited about that. It's not everyone who can do that job. It's obviously it's a kind of, somebody has to be very, put together. Somebody has to be very kind of able to multitask a little bit and able to keep things in order, because we do have orders coming in multiple ways. And when we combine orders and things, they have to be documented. And that was one thing that was happening or wasn't happening. So everything has to be done in a very particular way. And it was always scary for me to step away from that. And now I know why it's scary for me to step away from that. And now I'm a little afraid to step away from it again. But it is something that if I continue to do myself, we will get nothing else done. And that's really what it is. It comes to a point where I have to take that step back. I have to put trust in someone else to do that. And especially after this last thing happened, it's hard for me to do that again. It was hard in the beginning. It's going to be even harder now. But it really is, if I don't find somebody to do it, I will literally spend my entire days packing and shipping and not pushing the store forward in any way. And We don't want to move forward prematurely, but the things that we're looking at are things that after 10 years in business, we should be able to do. So that's the kind of thing that is a little bit wild, and it really takes a hit when that person leaves, especially unexpectedly, or wasn't doing things that you thought were being done. So I don't want to talk about it too much on here again. We've chatted about it before, but I do, really want to say that I am working hard to get your packages out if you're waiting for them. And I am very excited. Hopefully this next person that comes in is one of those people that's going to love doing this. Some people are they love to organize. They love to kind of keep tidy. They love to, document things. That's what this definitely needs. And, if we didn't go through the process of worrying about combining orders and all of that, if we just ship them as they came in, it wouldn't be that difficult. But that would also mean that you all would pay a ton more in shipping, and we don't want to do that to you either. I always hate when I order something and I forget something, and then in order to do it, I have to call the company, or there's just no way to reach them, and you can't combine orders. So you either order again and pay more shipping, or you decide not to order. It's always a crazy, crazy thing. And we have talked about possibly doing, free shipping over a certain dollar amount, but we've also, as we tell you all the time, we keep our prices as low as possible. And there's generally no difference between an in-store price and an online price for us. You're not going to pay more when you walk in store and buy the same thing if we have them in both places. You're not going to pay less. You're going to pay the same thing. So if we don't charge shipping on the online side, we lose money in that transaction then, because we're covering shipping. Now, if we raise the prices a little bit in the online store, which I know a lot of businesses do, if they are selling something online, the prices are raised a little bit to make it look like that shipping's free, but really it's not. And we could do that. But in the end, our shipping, I think, is pretty, our shipping's pretty low, I think. And if we raise the price of everything, in the end, you all would probably end up paying more, for everything than if I would have just left the shipping charges on there, because every piece you add to your order would be higher. And I don't think that's fair. So it's really a difficult decision. And yes, as Suzanne said, shipping went up for the holidays. So now that we're behind, most of the shipping rates that anybody who has a current order with us has paid, we are now paying more. So we are losing money in this because of the backlog that we've gotten and that has happened with all that has gone on in the past few weeks. So things you do in business, right? We're covering all that shipping costs. Of course, we're not going to call people up and say your order has been delayed, so now we need to charge you more shipping. That would be ridiculous. So we are, not only are we stuck for help right now at the moment, but we are also paying more for all of this. We don't charge you anything more than what we pay in shipping generally. We weigh out every individual thing so that when the weight comes together in the online order, most of the time that weight is correct, and that charges the shipping amount based on that weight. So we are not charging you like if you'd walk into the post office, regular postal rates. Generally, we are charging you the rates that we get charged, which is a discounted rate. So in the end, most of the time you're paying what we're paying. And if there's a shipping increase, like what Suzanne said, it went up for the holidays, which it definitely has, or if there's any type of rate increase, or if our weights are off, or we add something to the order, generally we cover that shipping, and that's what we're doing. So just to let you know, we are working on things, and things are getting done. But we also the main point of this whole story was to tell you that I took a day off and we got out in nature a little bit. And I hope that you all out there are enjoying your week. We're at Thursday. I don't know where this week has gone. We haven't seen you here on video for a number of days. So I know that's been interesting, and that's been, I always hate missing you all on these videos. So we do like to chat with you. We like to hang out with you. and do more than just complain, right? I don't like to complain all the time. I hate it. Teresa said, my plumber took some time off and called it a mental health day. That's what yesterday was. Andrew, I was getting ready to come into the store yesterday, and Andrew saw me getting ready, and he says, hey, do you want to go out and walk in the woods today? And I thought about it, and I knew I had a lot of stuff to do, but I also knew that the store would be taken care of because Jen was in for classes, and she would manage anything that needed to happen that day. And we're always available over text message, usually, as long as the phones are working. So I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's take a day off. And I know he wanted to gather. We gathered some mushrooms, and we gathered some acorns and some other leaves and things, so that Andrew is he's looking at making ink. So he's working on making inks and dyes for his paper, most likely, I'm guessing. And so, yeah, we took a mental health day pretty much and walked in the woods. And then we went over to Star Cottage Studio. I said this in the beginning too. And we did some work over there. Andrew cleaned out some of the woods. There's a lot of trees that have fallen, or tiny trees, or trees that needed to be chopped down, and he did that. Sorry. And so we did that, and I mowed some grass until the mower ran out of battery power, and then we went home and had some dinner. So that's what's been going on in our life, in our neck of the woods here. Let's see here. What else is going on? Cynthia says, Etsy really pushes free shipping, but they have a calculator to add it to each piece. I calculated it, and it adds a lot more if you get more than one item. Yeah, and that's the thing. Everyone loves to see free shipping, right? And I think, if we put free shipping on the site, yeah, maybe we'd get a lot more orders, even if we increase the price of everything, because we'd have to cover the shipping. It's not free for anybody, right? The post office is not giving anyone free shipping that I'm aware of, at least not small businesses. So if you see free shipping out there, that money's being made up somewhere else. And that's generally increasing the price of each item to compensate. So if we increase the price of every gemstone strand we sell by, so much money, or a percentage of their value, then we can say free shipping. But, if you're buying gemstone strands, anywhere up to 4 ounces generally is a certain dollar amount. And then the next dollar amount happens at 6 ounces by the US Post Office. So if you are not quite at 4 ounces, right? Anywhere up to 4 ounces, you're paying $3, and I forget what it is now with the new rate, but you're paying $3 and something. Now, if you have 5 gemstone strands that are microfaceted, let's say they're microfaceted, and they're super duper light, but sometimes those are a little bit more money. Let's say we add $1, even $1 to every strand, and you bought 5 strands, you would be paying normally $3.24 or something in shipping, where now you're getting free shipping, but you just paid $5 more for those. So we could do that. And actually, in the end, in a lot of ways, we would probably make more money by doing it that way. But it's not fair, because on the store floor, you would come in and those same strands wouldn't be increased in price necessarily, or we'd have to reprice a lot of stuff, but we wouldn't have that increase in price because it's not being shipped. And to me, that's a little bit, it's wrong. So that's why we've continued to charge shipping. As Cynthia said, if you add it to more than one piece, if you're getting more than one piece, it adds up faster generally than the shipping will. So that's why we do what we do. That's why we still charge shipping. Let's see. Teresa says, my daughter shipped samples to one of our reps, and her eyeglasses accidentally got packed in the box. Oh no. No wonder she couldn't find them. That's for sure. That's for sure. And let's see, what else is everyone saying? Terry says, self-care is more important than ever. Hope you enjoyed your day off. Yes, I think it is. For a long time, my family is very like work, work, work. And my grandfather, he worked up literally until the day he passed, pretty much as he could. And he was in his 80s, doctor said he had the heart of a 60-year-old because he kept working. And he always said, I don't want to get behind the 8 ball. Don't want to get behind the 8 ball. And so he kept working and working. And whether that was just going out in the woods and clearing out trees or, brush burning, or, he kept active. It's in my family to keep active and to keep going. And it's very hard for me to say I need a personal day or I need a self-care day, because it seems very, I don't know what the word is, but it seems selfish, I guess, and it kind of is. But in the long run, as I'm trying to learn and talk myself into, it does help. Sometimes you just need days where your mind is allowed to be set free and not go over the things that you go over every day and every day. So I got a lot of things sorted out in my brain a little bit yesterday, which was very good. And I was able to come in and kind of attack this packing and shipping with a better attitude. And I probably got about 20 packages out today, or will go out. They'll go to the post office tomorrow morning. So some of you should have seen some shipping notices, and just kind of a reset. Sometimes you need it. We all need mental health days. Let's advocate it and be a requirement. Yes, that's why when anytime our helpers ever ask us if they can have the day off, even generally if it's like 10 minutes before their shift, which has happened multiple times, if they're not feeling well or they just, need a break, we're always the first to say, you know what, if we can do it, let's go ahead, take the day. We're not some big organization that's going to fall apart after somebody taking a personal day. And I have to remind myself of that. It's hard when you're running most everything, especially at the store level here. But, I've always been the one to let people, if they need the day, take the day. And I just have to remember that for myself too. Let's see. Oh no, spent Saturday at the ER vets with Stella, your golden retriever, Susan. Oh no, came home Monday night, much better. My wallet, not so much. Yeah, that's always a scary thing, both emotionally and financially, because, it's hard to, it's just, you don't know what's wrong and you don't know how much it's going to take or cost to make it right. And hopefully you can make it right. But I'm glad she's back. I'm glad she's feeling better. Sarah says, don't do free shipping, right? And Nancy's saying nothing is free. That's exactly what it is. I would rather charge people a little bit in shipping and combine shipping when we can than, increase the price of everything. It just doesn't seem right to do it the other way. Susan said, my self-care had me taking a nap after lunch, which I did in place of making stuff today. Hey, sometimes we need a nap. I could use a nap right now, and I slept probably 9 hours last night, and I could still use a nap because I've not been sleeping well. With our help leaving us and knowing things are in the state they're in, I do not sleep well. And so it really preys on my mind. And I finally went to sleep last night, slept fairly well after having the kind of mental break day yesterday. And I'm still tired. So I get it. Let's see here. Terry says, I think it comes to perceived value. It absolutely does. Free shipping, it comes to perceived value. Free shipping makes people think that they're getting a deal. And that's why we try and tell you, we don't do free shipping, but you're probably going to get a better deal with us. It's just the way it is. If something gets up to a certain amount, the most you're going to pay with us, unless it's a big item. But if you're ordering a lot of small things, but they're even heavy, the most you're going to pay generally is $7 and something, unless you're out of the country, because we'll put it in a small priority box, and that's like $7.40 or something. The price has gone up here recently for the holidays. But yeah, we're going to put it in a priority box, and the most you're going to pay is $7. Now, if you have 15 things in that box and we had to raise the price for free shipping, you just paid an extra $15. You're paying twice as much as you would have paid. So it's all, I know it's in the perception and the perceived value, but it's strange to me. It's very strange to me. Let's see here. Dawn says, I'm lucky if I get a self-care hour. I understand. Andrew and I have not been on an actual vacation, like a vacation where we take one together and have like at least a day or two away from the store completely since we opened the store 10 years ago. Any traveling we do is for work, or if not, generally we do it in a half day. We might go, to the store in the morning and do a few things and then come back and then go do something, or we might do something in the morning and come back to the store and do work later. We've not actually had, like, if you count like a multi-day vacation, we haven't done that since we opened the store ever. So I think people sometimes see us and we're growing and people think we're doing well, and we are. I'm not going to say we're not. We're very proud of where we're going. We're very thankful for your support. But we do sacrifice a lot to keep everything going. If each of us had a regular job, we might make as much as we're making now, and we could take vacation days and sick days and it would be different, but we wouldn't have this community that we've created. We wouldn't have you all out there to talk to and chat with. We wouldn't be doing these things that we consider fun, So there's always a trade-off, I think. And sometimes self-care, unfortunately, is that trade-off in a lot of ways. But, we're getting there. We're getting to a place, hopefully, where we'll take a little bit more time for ourselves. But we just got to get set up for that. So I hope, Dawn, you're able to too. Let's see here. Nancy says, I can't rest until my work is done. That's a lot like me, except I'm running on burnout, as you can probably tell. I know you can tell. I know you can see that I'm not as exuberant or as light as I am in a lot of videos lately. And that's why. I'm just going and going and going. So today's a little better. Susan says, I refuse to be a workaholic. At my last place of full-time employment, I witnessed 2 people carted off in ambulances. One never returned. Lesson learned. Yeah, it's a real thing, right? Being a workaholic is a real thing. And I do try to take some downtime most evenings when I can, but that's also when I do work for the other business that I work for. So I do get breaks from the store sometimes in some ways. But yeah, I have to watch that. I can be that too. And it's not always a good thing. It's not always a good thing. Marianne had a nap yesterday. Nice. Definitely nice. Let's see here. Loretha says, book a weekend trip somewhere. My son's father just died and he wanted to wait to do most of the stuff until he retired. He missed it by a year. And that's what I worry about too. My mom and my aunt, my mom is nearly like retirement age. My aunt is over retirement age. They're both still working. My mom kind of has to work yet to make sure she's secure enough in retirement. And, they don't take time off to do the things necessarily that they like to do or would like to do or want to do. And I follow after them a little bit. I feel guilty taking time off and just doing something for me or doing something with Andrew. But there are stories in that like that. And it's really, I, at least for the most part, Andrew and I do the things that we like to do and we love doing what we're doing. So, it's not as bad as somebody that puts in grueling hours somewhere and, just does it because they're caught up in it or because they have to. We like what we're doing, so there's at least that. And most of the time, what we do is wonderful. And we really enjoy it. When things fall apart, sometimes it's never that fun. But yeah, I do get it. And I'm hoping, you know, our wedding is going to be so close to the Great Beat Extravaganza the next weekend that I don't know that we'll get to do anything in between. But I'm hoping that at some point soon after that for our wedding, we'll take a small honeymoon somewhere. It's not going to be extravagant, but just to get away for a few days and kind of maybe we'll close the store and just walk away for a few days and do something. Because even if the store's open, we might get text messages or questions, and that kind of defeats the purpose in some ways. But so you might see that coming up here in the next 2 or 3 months. You might see the store closing for a little bit and us taking a trip away. Yeah, if you don't know, Loretta's asking about the wedding. If you don't know, Andrew and I are getting married. Hopefully November 5th is the date. We still have to get our marriage license. There's so much to do. So this is also in amongst everything we're thinking about. And it's going to be a small ceremony just with very close family and friends. And we're going to have a much larger celebration hopefully next year. We keep saying hopefully next year. We started saying that last year, so we'll see. But whenever we do have that celebration, we will be opening it up to anybody who wants to come down the road and just come and create with us and craft with us and hang out in Ligonier here with us. So stay tuned for that. It'll be during a nice weather month, sometime hopefully in 2022. So we'll keep everyone tuned into that. Oh, let's see here. Amy says, my honeymoon was one day alone and then a day spent with family from far away at the beach. Even if it's just a day, take time to celebrate your marriage. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're going to try to do. Cynthia, she's planning on coming up for the wedding, so we can't wait either. It should be a fun time. Should be, you know, I mean, I don't know if it would be much more fun if we could have it in front of everybody and have all of our friends and everybody come up. But, you know, planning for that during COVID times is not something we wanted to try to tackle, just in case we had everything planned and the week before they called it and said you couldn't do large gatherings or something. So we're doing a very small thing, and then we're going to have the larger gathering later when things are much more calm. So yeah, and we also didn't want to spend tons of money on the wedding. That's another thing too. We don't have tons of money to spend on a wedding, and we have a lot of other things we would prefer to spend the money on than a wedding. We want it to be nice. We want the celebration to be nice, but in the end, we'd rather make things and do things and, you know, spend that money on equipment or things that fulfill another purpose or another need that we have. Yeah, we were talking about, Terry talking about streaming it. We're talking about possibly streaming it. We'll see. We're trying to add more content and more live stuff and all that, but I don't know. We've talked about streaming it, and I think that would be great, but at the same time, we might just want it to be just intimate and closed up. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. So anyway, this has been a long half hour of me talking about the same things we've already talked about mostly. So I'm sorry about that. I know things are a little bit wild. It's kind of turned into a more of a let's chat session today, but I am going to show you some of this silk today. So let me go ahead. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this because every strand is different. But I'm going to show you kind of some of the strands. And look at my hair today. My hair is even wild. But I'm going to show you some of the strands. And just know that if you request any of these, I'm going to ask you to take screenshots like we always do. Because saying green definitely not going to be enough. So I'm going to ask you to take screenshots of anything you see here that you like. And just know that if you take a screenshot of something, the strand you may receive, because they're all hand dyed separately, may be slightly different than what you see. Okay, so just know that going forward and going into this. But so many people have asked us to show you this and have this on sale that I couldn't not do it any longer. So we're going to take a look at this silk. All right. So let me flip the camera around here. You're going to see the ceiling for just a momentito while I accomplish this feat of technological technological variance, or I don't know what you want to call it. There's the table. There we go. Susan says your hair looks fine. Thank you. It's wild. Someday I'm going to get it cut, maybe before the wedding, hopefully before the wedding. I just had to run back and grab a ruler because I know somebody asked how long this was and I didn't know in the last video. So I don't want to make that mistake again. Okay, so in order to claim any of these items, like I said, I'm going to ask you, please take a screenshot. On an Apple device, that's generally hitting the power button and the volume up button at the same time. That's how most modern Apple devices work. If you have an Apple device that has the Touch ID button, like the home button on the bottom of the device, you touch that generally and I think the power button together to take a screenshot. If you have an Android device, I have been told that the power button and the volume up or the volume down button work as well on many Samsung Android devices. On other devices, you may have to Google that to find out how to do it. Luckily, we have a good number of most of these, so if you have to take a little time to Google that while you're waiting or while you're watching or even in the replay, hopefully we won't sell out of anything you want. Now, everything I'm going to show you today, I'm only going to show you the side-stitched silk. And these are $6 per strand, and right now I'm going to measure them to give you a quick idea of generally. They are about 3 feet long, okay? So just about a yard, give or take. Each one's a little different, but they are generally about a yard, 3 feet long, okay? So take a screenshot, send us that screenshot either on Facebook Messenger here to the Allegory Gallery page, or you can send us an email. Now, I'm going to say this. If you send us an email and you don't hear from us in, let's say, 2 to 3 business days, I'm not counting the weekend, 2 to 3 business days, please either resend an email or send us a message another way. Send us a text message on our phone, or, you know, don't keep sending necessarily the email over and over, because if we didn't get it the first time and it went to spam, chances are every single subsequent email is going to go to spam. We always try to reply to you generally within 2 to 3 business days. So if you don't have a reply by then, something happened. Now, I do check spam from time to time, and sometimes I find things in there, and sometimes the way they're marked or the way they have a subject line may not let me know that it's actually somebody real, because we get literally thousands of spam messages probably every week in our various accounts. So if you don't hear from us, and that means anyway, whether you are messaging us about an order or messaging us about just a question, or if you message us and you don't hear from us, please try messaging us another way. We've had some things come up recently and we haven't gotten messages, and I feel bad about that too. But do try and reach out another way, just in case something is going to a weird folder on Facebook or Instagram, which they have them too. These weird spam things that you can only seem to find if they tell you you have something. But yes, that's what I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that, because we're going to take a look at some pretty stuff now, okay? These are all $6 a strand, and I'm going to ask you, like I said, take a screenshot if you see something you like. So this one is this pretty kind of beigey green with purple, which I think looks terrific. Now, these are side stitched, so you'll see the stitching on the sides, and they are kind of, I mean, it's silk. You can see through it. It's a fine silk through here. It's a little bit coarse, just a little bit, but these are great for a lot of different things. So let's say you have a necklace and you have, let's say you just have one strand of beads that you wanted to use, and that strand isn't long enough to go all the way around your neck. What you can do is you can strand that up here like this, and then you can attach the silk right around the back. So you can use this around the back of your head and just put the, maybe you bought some, you know, $300 strand of sapphires and you just want it just in the front to show. You don't want to, you know, waste all those sapphires behind your neck. So you can use this to attach to it. You can also use this silk to weave in between chain. Let me grab some chain real quick. Okay, so say you have some chain and you want to decorate the chain, right? So you can weave the silk through the chain links, right? Because some people don't like the feeling of just chain on them, or they don't like the look of just the bare chain. And you can weave this through in multiple ways. I'm doing it very quickly here to show you, but you can weave it through multiple times through each one. But just to give your chain a little maybe less flash, maybe your chain's too bright, or you know, maybe it's just too stark, you can weave this through the chain to like cut down on some of that or to add color interest. Maybe your chain is silver and you have some rubies down here. You could use a red silk to go through there and kind of pull that color together, right? So you can do that if you'd like with it. There's multiple ways to use this. You can, of course, string large hole beads on this. So you can string the large hole beads right to it. And just use this and tie it in a little bow or a knot behind your neck. Lots of different ways you can use the silk. Cindy says, I've used this and stitched on beads at the ends. Yeah, so you can definitely do that too. Stitch on some beads at the end. I just think, you know, there's so many ways to use it, and I'm sure you'll all think of things that I wouldn't. Terry says the paper clip chain is so amazing. It really, really is. I love this chain. I love this. Terry's seen it used as a hair tie, very pretty and unique. Yeah, you don't even have to use this with jewelry, right? You don't have to use it necessarily. It's just a very pretty, pretty silk ribbon. So $6. Take a screenshot if you'd like that color and send that screenshot to us, either in a message here on Facebook if you're watching on Facebook, or you can use info@allegorygallery.com if you are using email. All right. Lena says his colors are lovely, very autumnal. They are. I really love these colors. All right, so let's pull the next color. We were talking about ruby red, right? Look at that. Look at that beautiful bright red. Now, I'm not going to show each of these necessarily up close. If you've seen the first one, it's kind of like if you've seen one, you've seen them all, right? You know what they look like. You know how they work. You know their approximate size. They're about 1 yard, which is about 3 meters. So I'm going to put them down here and allow you to take screenshots if you'd like. And from this moment on, we'll move a little bit more quickly unless you all have questions or something to talk about, chat about. Because I know I can get chatty like I did at the beginning of this video. And I don't want to take all of your time. Susan says very holiday-ish, right? If you are fans of Christmas, look at that. You got your green and red together. Those are really vibrant, bright colors. Cynthia says like the leaves on sugar maple. Yeah, they can get really, really nice red, huh? We don't have a lot of red leaves around here. We were out taking pictures of leaves and things. And like I said, if you missed that, Andrew and I took kind of a personal day yesterday for part of the day and went out into nature and took some pictures and took some videos. And I posted some of them on my personal Facebook. So if you'd like to see those, go ahead, travel over to my personal Facebook page and take a look. Now, some of these are more limited in quantity than some others. We were able to get some colors more easily than others. So we always do this first come, first serve. The reason we ask for messages or an email is because those are all time-stamped. And we know who sent theirs in first to make sure that it's fair. And we try and stay as fair as we can with all of this. Okay. Up next, how about purple? Now, isn't that a vibrant, vibrant purple? It's like electric purple. I don't know what's on my screen here. It's a vibrant, vibrant purple. That's the kind of purple I like. Looks like my ruler. Next up, this is a very nice autumn color right here. It's kind of burnt orange or burnt yellow color. Very autumn color. And then pink, beautiful pink. And another autumn color, right? As the leaves turn brown, got a nice brown. That's a really nice color too. I like the brown because it can go with so many other colors really, really nicely. So that's a good staple to have, I think. And remember, if you're just tuning in, we're showing you silk ribbon today, side-stitched silk ribbon. I'll show you quickly here in case you're just tuning in. Each one is stitched along the entire side. You have the silk in between, and then each comes to kind of a point like this, which makes it easy to feed through holes or beads if you need to. Now, you're not going to get this through most regular size bead holes, but if you have large hole beads, they generally will fit through. Or like I showed you, you can fit it through chain or attach it in multiple ways by just knotting it around something and attaching it that way as well. They're all $6 each. And if you'd like to claim any, take a picture or a screenshot, send them to us on our Facebook Messenger or email, which is listed right down below. Right here, right here. Lena says this looks a little olive khaki for me. It is not. That may be your screen. This is definitely brown. 100% brown. There's no green in this at all. And that's the thing too. It is hard with colors on screens. And sometimes even when we ask for screenshots, when I get your screenshots, which your screen may look different than mine, the way it captures color is different. So sometimes it's hard for me even to tell. That definitely happens. Sometimes I take a long time trying to figure out things, but there's really no better way to do it necessarily. Now here we have a yellow green. This is yellow and green together. And again, if you missed this at the beginning, each strand is hand dyed. So the one you see here, when I send it to you, once you claim them, may not be exactly like the one you receive, but we will get them as close as we possibly can. All right. So there's that one. Then we have a beautiful, beautiful teal. And I'm saying this, as I look at it on my screen, it looks more blue. And in person, this looks more teal. So you never know exactly, and I know it's difficult, but we'll do our best, right? And no matter what, these are all lovely. So even if the color isn't exactly what comes across on the screen, I think you'll love them all. Okay, so there's that one. And next up, we have this beautiful light purple. Light purple. Okay, next up, we have this kind of hot pink. This is the pink I showed you earlier. And then we have this kind of hot pink over here now. Hello, Molly. Welcome back. So how is everyone else doing? I've been going on and on and on about what we're doing. What's everyone else been up to? Let me know. You know we like to chat here. We don't like just to show you stuff and just kind of look at this hot pink. So here are kind of the pinks that we have. All right. So you can go really in that beautiful, beautiful pink. And let me sort through my stash here and see what other colors I've got. All right. Yes, Pinktober, Suzanne, absolutely. And then we have this one. I don't think I showed you this one. This is kind of that really burnt orange, rusty color, which is, I think, fantastic. And then we have this one, which I'm going to show you this one a little bit up close to show you what it looks like. It's really twisted here, but it has that pinky with, I'm going to say, like a deep orange almost. But then you get up here, and like I said, these are all hand dyed, so they're all a little bit different. And then we have one that's kind of like a shade lighter. So you have this. Julie says, same old for me. It's finally cold way down here. That's good. That's good. We're still in the 70s, but it's not very humid. So that it's working out a little bit. Oh, I'll tell you something that happened too. So we were out yesterday on our day, and we were walking by a stream or a little river. This one's very nice. I like this one a lot. So we were walking by a stream and river, and we were, we got to a point where in order to get back to the other side of the stream, we either had to, walk all the way back the way we came, or we had to try and skip across the stream. So we, Andrew took his socks and shoes off, and there was a big sign that said, warning, the rocks are slippery, right? And we said, oh, they're dry. And they were still a little bit slippery, but we're like, okay. So Andrew took his socks and shoes off and walked through the stream, very, very slippery. He was walking like probably an inch per step, and he was sliding all around through the water. So I said, I don't think I want to do that. So I found a rock and a log that I could skip across that were in the middle of the stream to skip across and get to the other side. Well, I skipped across, and when I landed on the other side, I landed on one of those insanely slippery rocks and fell on my back and fell completely flat down on my back. Thankfully, I had enough, forethought or just, muscle memory to not smash my head on the back of the rocks. I think I scared Andrew quite a bit, but luckily I was okay. I didn't, as far as I know, break anything. I landed on my butt, which luckily is padded enough since COVID weight to not suffer too much trouble or danger. But I do have a bruised elbow. My neck is sore from tensing up when I fell, and it's hard for me to sit for long periods of time today. I like this one with the yellow and the white. It's like yellow stitched, but like a nice creamy white silk. So he says, thank goodness you're okay. We don't bounce back like we used to as we age. That's for sure. I was very concerned because it hurt when I fell. Things went numb when I fell. But thankfully, all turned out okay, other than me being very sore today. Next up, mint green. This is coming across as a little bit blue on my screen even, but it is a beautiful, lovely, light mint green. Another beautiful green color. Heidi says, glad you aren't concussed. Me too. I don't know. It's one of those things that I jumped across, and as soon as I jumped, I felt like I'm not going to land this right because the log kind of shifted as I jumped, and I should have thrown all my weight forward, but instead I threw my weight, like kind of held my weight back. And that's what happened. My feet hit first. Instead of being under my body, they were in front of my body, and they both slid out from under me. And I landed like very flat on my butt and my back. I think Andrew shared a picture of my pants after that on his timeline, but only in a comment to somebody else. So you'd have to look for it. Let's see. I'm trying to find out which ones of these I shared with you already and which ones I did not. Some of my favorites on this silk are the ones where the middle is different than the actual stitching. So this one, the stitching is almost kind of a reddish color, whereas the center is the more purpley color. Yeah, almost broke my tailbone for the wedding. Definitely didn't want to do that. I was concerned about that. But the way I landed apparently was so flat because my legs slid right out from under me and I came down very flat, that's why I'm glad I didn't hit my head, because I thought my head would have landed at the same time, but I must have held it up because my neck is very sore today. But I definitely got very lucky in that. Wow, I just found this one, and I might only have one of this strand, but I'm going to show it to you in case somebody wants it. Look at that. That's like teal with I think it's a black sewn edge, but it goes on to be this kind of pretty blue. And then back, and almost there's a purple, and then back to teal. I think that's the only one I have like that. Like I said, because these are hand dyed, I have a lot of these, but The reason, I have to make sure the ones I show you, I try to make sure that we have multiples of that same exact or very close coloring, because they're hand dyed. They'll all be a little different, but it's good to have similar ones. So I'm trying to find the ones that are similar or have similarities between them. Whoops, I shared that one already. Did I share this one? I don't think I did. We have a dark green that almost has some, it's like a gray blue, Marianne says, the good thing about padded butts, right? That is the one good thing. Susan says, oh dear, glad you're okay. Me too. I think I scared Andrew a lot though. He just saw me fall. He turned around to see me falling and didn't know what happened, I think. Did I share this one? No. So here we shared some pink ones before. I don't think I shared this one. This is pink with kind of a darker pink edging. We had this one before. It's the same center material, but this has the lighter edging. This has the darker edging. And we also have just a few of the bright orange. How about that? That's pretty. Are y'all liking the silk? How do y'all like it? Andrew actually, Heidi said you need a good massage, Marianne, or an Epsom salt warm bath. Andrew actually did both for me after that yesterday. So I think he was very worried because he made sure that I was taken care of after that. This one I didn't show. Just like me to forget to show the yellow, because it's not my favoriteest color in the world. See, it doesn't, I don't think yellow looks that great on me, but there's yellow. Earlier I showed you this one, which has a little bit of the green in it. This is just a pure yellow. All right. And then we have a dark brown. The brown I showed you earlier is this one. And this is the darker brown. And I think, folks, that is about all of the colors I'm going to show you for this, because the rest of them, we have some singles, and that's really hard to keep track of and hard to say, okay, we only have one of these. They're just hard to find again later. But these, look at these, all these beautiful colors of silk, right? Beautiful silk colors. So hopefully you all saw something you like. I'm going to flip the camera around here real quick again. And let's raise this up a little bit so you can see me. Hello, everyone. I'm back. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I know a lot of you have been wondering about this silk that's always generally behind us here at the store. And like I said, there are some colors in here that we only have a few strands each of. I tried to get you the ones that we have the most of, and some of the new arrivals. We just got some new arrivals in. So I hope you like those. And if you have any questions, please feel free. Go ahead and send us messages on that. And again, please, if you send us a message and you don't hear from us, we're not ignoring you. We just didn't get it or didn't see it or went to a weird inbox. Just try and hit us up a different way. All right. And I'm hoping to get our phone issues worked out here in the next few days. So if you've been trying to call or message us and haven't gotten through or haven't gotten a call back or a response, just send us an email or I just texted with someone. The texting was going through fine. The phone calls were not necessarily. So that's all I can say right now. If you're watching this live or within the few days of this video, just know that we're having some issues on that end too. So that's what happened. Heidi's asking, is Andrew making your wedding rings? We don't actually have, we did engagement beads. I don't know that we're going to do any actual rings. Andrew and I both wear rings, but we don't wear rings all the time. So we're talking about making the engagement beads into necklaces or things that we can wear, or bracelets or something. So that's what we're doing instead of rings. I think both of us would go a little crazy if we always had a ring on at all times, like you do with a wedding ring. We're just both, generally, we wear lots of different rings, but never one all the time. And it gets in the way of Andrew working with his hands and things. So that's what we did. We got engagement beads when I proposed to him. We had special beads made by Ann Choi, which is one of his very favorite bead makers in the world. Andrew told me when we first got together that I could buy his love every year or every so often with Ann Choi beads. So almost every year, pretty much, I think every year at least, he's gotten one Ann Choi bead. And I asked her to do us a big favor. She doesn't ever do custom orders, but I asked her if she would do a custom engagement bead, and she did that for us. And she sent us the clay or broken, so that we saw that we had the master, could never be remade. So we went with that route instead of having rings, because it just made sense. We're bead people, so that's what we did. So we have those, and we'll make them into something most likely. And as Marianne says, it's the commitment that's important, not the outward show. Yeah, and that's what it's always been. We've been together 14 years. So 14 years and not married. And to me, it's that commitment that's important. It's not the marriage license. It's not the ceremony. It's none of that. It's just, I made a commitment, he made a commitment, and we're committed to each other. So that's what we do. But as we're getting older and as we amass things in life, legally, unfortunately, it's easier legally if we're married than not. So it's just, everything's made more easy with marriage, and that was why it's always been a thing. Finally, in I think most states, all states, I don't know, gay people being married. They say you can do the same things, but there's a lot more hoops that you have to run through to do these things sometimes than if you just get married. So we're very fortunate that we now can, and our separate debts have been paid off to a point that they wouldn't interfere if one of us passed away. No one's going to be left with huge debts that are transferred over. That was one of our worries. Andrew had some really large student loans, and I was lucky that I got scholarships, and there was a family that pretty much paid for most of my schooling, because I got a scholarship for academics and for need. So I was very lucky that way. I only had to take money out for school for my 5th year because I added a second major. So my family helped with my books. They were able to do that, and my room and board, but my tuition was actually covered. So Andrew's was not, and he went to an art school in New York City, which was out of state for him, which was more money. So he had some debt. We have that taken care of, and now we can get married and not worry that if something happens to one of us, we're all, transferring debt or having this immense debt to try and get out from under. So yeah, so that's that. So that's what we're doing. Hopefully November 5th is the date. That's what we're planning. And my best friend from kindergarten that I've known since we were 5 is coming in for it. My parents, my brother will probably be there, and my sister-in-law. Andrew's parents hopefully are coming up. I know Cynthia's coming up. And we're just going to have a small ceremony and do something maybe to eat after. I don't know what we'll do. And then next year in 2022, we'll have a bigger get together, and we'll just kind of hang out with our favorite people, which are all of you if you want to come. So we'll be opening that up. Just keep an eye for it next year. We'll definitely be inviting whoever wants to come to spend time in Ligonier. You're all welcome. So Marion says, go get the license. Yeah, right. That's the thing. You have to go get the license. Do you know what you're wearing? I have no idea. I'm still trying to lose weight and work out a little bit in between everything to try to, I'd like to be able to fit into clothes that I don't feel like I look huge in, which has been a hard thing over the pandemic. So I'm working on that. And we'll see what, I don't know what we're wearing. Who knows? Andrew and I, we both don't like to wear samesies. That's the way we've always been. If I put on a blue shirt in the morning and Andrew was going to put on a blue shirt, he changes the color of his shirt. That's generally how we are. So I don't know what we're wearing. I have no idea, but we'll figure it out before then. So yeah, but hopefully you all enjoyed this. Sorry for the, I don't know. I keep apologizing for things because I feel like we're so behind. So sorry for all the apologizing. Sorry for the sorries, right? But thank you all for tuning in. If you have any questions, just reach out to us. Things are a little wonky right now with communications, and I'm just going to blame Mercury's retrograde. That's what I'm going to say. All of the crazy things that are going on right now, I'm blaming that. And once we come out from under that, things are going to be fine. Things are going to be fine, right? So thank you again for tuning in today. And spending this almost hour and 20 minutes with me or so. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for hanging in there. And if you need anything else, remember, we are pretty much a fully stocked bead store. So if you order silk from us and you need some beading wire or some memory wire or beads or anything, just let us know and we'll take a look for you. All right. Thank you all so very much and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. And we'll see you back here tomorrow with something new. I still have boxes of things to show you all, but I have to get to it at some point and get it inventoried. So maybe I'll do some of that over the next few hours. We'll see. But I'll have something for you tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Have a great one, everyone. Bye now.